All right, what up, yo? Dropping jewels with Goku.
What up? What up?
I'm Richter. That's Goku. We back.
What's cracking?
What's cracking? We back for another episode.
Episode 6. This is our 6th week.
6, keeping it moving.
I mean, you know, when should we do a some type of I don't know, special show? I mean, we gotta do something for the people, you know.
For sure. I think that's gonna be coming up soon. We need to wait for the milestones. You know what I'm saying? We can't do nothing crazy for 10. It's just 10. You know what I mean?
Just 10, right?
Just 10.
I mean, these days 1090s is just 1090s, but how many old, that can do them?
Exactly. 10 fingers, 1090s. He
10
got me.
1090s.
So everything after 10 is bonus. So those are my 90s. I'll take the extras.
All right. There you go. Extras. So what's up, man? What's on the agenda today, bro?
I think we're gonna talk about knowing your worth. Kind of like, you as an artist, selling yourself, your services, your craft, your skills, your knowledge. You hit me during the week right after last episode, and it was a really good topic, and it kind of just hit you too. So life situation about knowing your worth and knowing your value, and you're out there marketing yourself as a teacher, as a coach, or as anything, a director. You got to know your worth. You got to make sure you're getting paid worth your time, but you can't of course act like you're Kanye and you're gonna get $1 billion either, right?
And man, I learned all that, I think, recently from a few strong women in the community, and I think they know who they are. So big ups to them, and thank you for providing that knowledge for me to, know my worth and be better when people are asking something from me, So I appreciate those ladies within the, hip hop community, dance community, culture overall community, So thank you. They know who they are.
For sure, man. For sure. So I've heard other people say that too about just the beginning of hip hop. It wouldn't have happened without women kind of fostering the people. So I guess in 2019 it's no different, right?
I mean, when you think about women in general, I mean, they're mothering towards everything,
Everything.
And, I want to say that, the ladies want to try to take care of everybody, as many people as they can, So, man, big ups to that. And, and that being the root, behind, the backbone behind many of us men in the community, man. Thank you so much.
For sure, for sure. So I guess in knowing your worth, how does it go where you're kind of being nurtured or you have this support, but then you gotta also reflect and look out with your value and presentation of yourself. So let's pivot off, the nurturing of the women in the culture and in your life, but how it how you have to move out of that and into selling yourself and you know what I mean?
Right. I mean, and it depends on how you sell yourself too. When I think about certain opportunities that have been presented to me, I think there was 3 events that were presented to me recently, and I turned them down.
Mm.
When you know that you know your worth, you know what you should be paid in a sense,
mm-hmm.
and people can't match that. I mean, I get it. There's always a budget to things,
For sure.
But also, people should really recognize who they're approaching and who they're asking before they ask, especially people that are throwing events. I mean, I understand there's cats out there that are judging all the time that'll be asked to judge a homie thing, right? And they'll hook their homie up.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm cool with a lot of people, especially in the Bay Area, so I think. I mean, I did get approached by somebody for judging a certain event. And me, let's just say it right now, my standard fee for national competitions is, it's not that much, because when you think about if I have to drive to the Bay Area, that's a 3-hour drive, right? let's
Yeah.
say I have to bring my, one of my children with me, or, I got to miss work that day, hey, look, this is what I'm asking. If you can meet that, my resume speaks for it. You know what I'm saying? So if you know who I am, that's why you brought this to my attention. You asked me, then you should, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, for sure.
and so I think about it, and it's not like I've been in the scene for just 10 years. Like when Nas says that, that verse, he talks about like 10 years, I'll let you pick my brain. I don't know if you heard that, but I forgot what song it was, but 26 years in the game. Come on now, man. Judging with some of the elites in the community, like I'm with Legs, with Storm, with Poe, with Wicked. I mean,
it's crazy.
You shouldn't devalue me because I'm from Fresno, or
Yeah. Or because like the Legs is that are that busy or that demanded everywhere, they're like at a different. So just because you're not there either, like you can't. It's like you're saying, you value like knowing your worth. Like it's a hard thing to kind of gauge, but you got to know and stand for how much you're worth. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
Can I ask you at least you said you turned down 3 gigs. You turned them all down for the same reason?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's. I mean, you think about what type of predicament I would put myself in. Do people really care that I'm driving 3 hours? Do people care that each way? But if they're asking me, that must say something. It must say, yo, this guy, we know of this guy. Not necessarily that, hey, we respect this guy. Like I told you before, I'm a Bay Area champion. My teacher's from the Bay. My friends are from the Bay. Show a little bit more respect, show a little bit more love, get back to me, let me know, what's going on, if you still want me to judge the jam or not, Yeah. And what's funny is like I hit up one of the actual judges that got hired for one of the events, and he told me, man, they gave him what he asked for, they reimbursed him for his plane ticket, and I'm gonna be honest with you, like plane ticket,
right?
I was just trying to drive 3 hours, homie, like. So it just tells you right there that people sometimes they want to take advantage of you, but then they want to make it seem like they're not. You know what I'm saying? Like, so if you can fly some guy in, pay his plane ticket, reimburse him for it, and then pay him what he's asking, I'm sure that's way over than what I asked for. When I have the same credentials, that's kind of whack.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I did say no, because it shows a lot of integrity on my part, and it shows the lack on theirs. So whatever.
Yeah, exactly. If anything, business-wise, like you showed how you do your methods and how you run business and how they run business, and it always doesn't link up. It always doesn't sync up, and that's why some people just don't do business with other people. But
right,
props to you for knowing your worth. And having your company values, like big corporations got company values. You can't wear their shirt and be like, whatever, you know what I mean? Like you got your own values on what you have to do for what you got to take care of, and you stuck to that. So to me, that's dope. You know what I mean? That's dope.
Thank you. I had to sit there and say, hey, am I upset about this? Nope. Because you know what? I set this rule on myself, and for future events, I want people to really look at me like he's really serious. Like this guy, he has the, what can I say, the stripes to back it up. That's why we brought him here, and I always try to give, 110% each place that I go. I try to stay I always pay attention to what's going on, and, that's why I feel like you can, people can count on me when they bring me out. And, big ups to Cross One for always, putting that out there for people, I could always count on Charles. And, why? It's because I'm not going to sit here and just talk a bunch of crap like some of these dudes. Like I'm going to actually do some work on the floor. I'm going to try to stay relevant and keep up with the actual community and what's going on, So, man, freestyle session 4 times, world finals, and my 4th time for the Silverback Open, and many other events up and down the state and all over the country and all over the world. So if anybody's out there trying to build up their resume, in the area of judging with this whole dance stuff, I mean, yo, stand your ground. Please make sure that your responsibilities at your house, you take care of that first before you just take the gig because you want to be put on a flyer or something like that.
Devs. You got to control home before you can control a cipher.
Home base, man. Straight up.
Yeah, that's real. So, I guess when you turned these down, it was all cool. Like everyone was all chill. It was just like, all right, cool.
Yeah, but the thing is like, I'm not going to put it out there for people to really like, go and pick on these people. Oh yeah, no. You know what I'm saying? So like, I just everything is still legit. Everything is still cool. I'm hoping that, the people that approach me, they can learn a lesson from this, and be like, yo, I respect Charles, I respect him, because when you think about it, what I was asking for was not much, and the amount of time that I got to drive there, I feel like the moment I leave my house, I'm on the motherfucking clock. You feel me? So, because I could just stay home and make a few $100. You know what I'm saying? So like, they got to realize that too. But it's slim pickings out here. Who can you really count on to do you justice when you're sitting in that hot seat? How many?
Yeah, and that's another thing. It's like down to the promoters, because it's like they trying to make a couple bucks. So if they're trying to save a couple bucks, I get it, but you're also doing it at the detriment of progressing the culture or the scene, or you know what I mean. So you gotta balance it. And so if it gets off balance, people like you aren't judging as much in general. It's not a good thing, you know what I mean? It's not a good thing because people don't know their value either. You know what I mean?
It's simple. I was, buying grass seeds at the Home Depot, man. There's so many different type of grass seeds, but, I know that, branding is important and everything, but there is a reason why some of these brands do work and some don't. So it's like, when I'm sitting next to some cat that's been breaking 10 years, and he's done a few jams, like, I'm just kind of like, cool, man. Like, yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And it's like 26 years, like, man, and it's 26 solid years. It's not, I never quit. So that's one thing that these people could always promote as well. Like, somebody that's been consistent, you're not just getting the stripes with me, the titles with me. You're getting consistency. You're getting quality. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. And high level stuff.
Yo, like, so what? Yeah, thank you.
No, dude, I'm just saying what you're doing, man. You putting it out there. You've been putting it out there, been doing it. What you see is what you get. As a judge, if people got an issue, they can pull you aside and talk and learn. They can pull you aside and battle. But whatever, you know what I mean? Like if anything, that's to me still way more valuable than what I know of you to kind of charge. You know what I mean? Like, to be able to get that kind of accessibility as well as a judge, the value is actually higher. But again, people aren't seeing that. Like, it's like, oh, I can get paid less, but I could be there and just kick it and be on the flyer. But it's like, as a promoter, you're actually not getting as much value because this dude don't want it. He don't want no smoke with nobody that's there. He ain't trying to, like, he's just trying to live in the limelight for 15 minutes with his name on the flyer or whatever. But
man, and that's what it boils down to for me. I'm like, first off, if you approach me, I'm going to tell you what it is. I'm going to tell you what time it is and what I think. You know what I mean? I was asked to come. I'm sitting on this panel for a reason. You want to hear what I got to say? Here's what I got to say. You don't like what I got to say? Okay. You want to step to me? Cool. But be prepared for what you get. That's all I'm telling you. And I don't name dropping and all that stuff. People have tried that maybe 10 years ago, but I got to say thank you to everybody who has put me on the panel, and everybody at the event who has respected me and appreciated me. So thank you so much, you know, to those that, you know, that actually show the love, you know?
Yeah, you got to thank them, you know.
Word.
For sure. Man, okay. So when do you start marketing yourself as a service or providing service, or you know what I mean? Like you said, you were next to a dude that's 10 years in, and you're like what, 26, 27 years deep in the game. Let's say 25 plus. Just round number right now, just to for when about should somebody kind of be like, you know, I want to offer myself as a judge, or do you think that just people just kind of ask?
I mean, that's kind of tough because, like, even if you're 15 years in the game, you know, like, I don't know, man. Like, you know, I'm gonna say like 15 years. Like, that could be, for me, that's kind of the number that I would say. You know, like, you actually would be considered like a vet somewhat, right? So like, you know, like you got to know something about the culture, right? Yeah. And you have to have been following the community. So, and 15 years says you have aches and pains a little bit, and you've dealt with some things within, you know, emotionally, you know, you've dealt with some things. You had to kind of, what can I say, conversate with people you may not like. You know, I think disagreements are actually good because it builds up character, you know, and to see where you are. Where's your mind at when you're on that panel? Can you sit next to somebody that you necessarily grew up with and have some beef with and actually, you know, be cool?
Just talk. Yeah.
Right. Like, I mean, I've disagreed with other judges, you know, one of my mentors on the panel, you know, and, you know, at the same time, like, do I still respect that person? Yes. You know, do I want the best for that person? Yes, because this is what he's done. You know, he's continuing to give love and spread knowledge, you know, and his knowledge of what he knows worldwide. So I can put all the personal differences aside. And being a judge, you have to be able to put your personal differences aside so that you can keep focus, you know, at all times.
100%. That's what it's about. You shouldn't be judging or offering a judge to somebody that can't do that. They can't. If you can't do that yourself, then you shouldn't be judging. You know what I mean? Like, I forgot what jam it was, but me and my homie entered, and we thought we lost that round, and then they put us forward, and we were like, nah. The other dudes that we battled, let them go ahead, and then they were like, they're kind of pissed, like, nah, like it's our event, and I'm just like, nah, like. You know, like, I think the judges got it wrong, you know.
Right. I mean, you know, like, I would have been like, okay, well, yo, that's cool. Yo, show me what you saw later. You know?
Like, yeah. There would have been more debate, but it was more like strong arm, like, well, this is our event, and we picked you guys, so you're going next. And I was just like, yo, like.
I ain't your slave.
Yeah, for a second, it just started to give me like a weird feeling, like, I don't like this. I don't like this. So, yeah, man, to me, you know, there's just moments as, you know, promoters, there's a lot to it, man. There's a lot to it.
Right. No, man, you know, if you know that, you know, that's the thing. We're lacking honesty. We're lacking, you know, and if competitors or B-boys and B-girls, they see honesty, I mean, I'm sure they're not going to like have some harsh words for you, you know, like it's always just choose the honest route, man, you know, like, and that, you know, I try to just go with the honest route because there is no perfect judge. There is no perfect dancer. Exactly. You know, it's just my opinion, and it's really not that hard. But my opinion comes from experience. It comes from know-how. You know, it comes from being around. It comes from making mistakes. You know, it comes from new growth. You know, new endeavors and challenges that I've dealt with through my journey in this dance. You know, so man, that's what I think. The reason why I take judging seriously, you know?
Yeah. And it to me it's a big deal. Like you're up there with power and responsibility, even if it's for 1 day or 4 hours or 2 rounds.
Right, right.
That's a big deal, and so it's a big deal. And I think the promoters don't get as much props for picking good judges and shit for picking bad ones. I think, every time you're pissed at a judge, I think you should also kind of start looking at the promoters of the event and, like, why'd you pick them?
You know what is really cool is I think generations, like the generation I'm from, I feel like, I don't know, what war throughout time would you say is the 90s generation? I mean, World War I, World War II, Korean War, Vietnam War, what would we be?
And b-boying, right?
Yeah.
The 90s, I want to say Nam, but I don't know if we kind of got a little earlier than that, like World War II.
Yeah, maybe, huh? Like I would say, like it's a toss-up between World War II and, Vietnam. Even some Secret War stuff. Think about that.
The Cold War kind of stuff.
Yeah, like when you think about everybody trying to make a name back then and the names that were around, man, we really had to work our ass off, in between every event and make, you know what I'm saying? Like because I didn't have people teaching me what the proper, footwork was, or, I just went off of what I saw. And when you're poor and stuff like that, you don't have access to everything like some of these people, so it was really sad because some of the OGs or, people that already had been doing it since like, let's just say 88, and they were really good, in the 90s, like 94, 95, they were dope. It tripped me out how people used to treat us because they act like we was born in the Bronx or something. Like I wasn't born. Can you just be a little bit more understanding? I'm from Fresno, California. Like relax. You know what I'm saying? So when I think about it, we were kind of mistreated in a sense, but those that stuck around and continue to do it from the early 90s until now, I got to give them love, man, because they had to learn. We had to like really take what we knew and then relearn everything, and with so much negative attitudes around us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's why I kind of feel like Vietnam, because it's like we were on their turf and we kind of had to adapt. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of why I picked Nam, like really, but that it was so global too, like the Europe tension, and that's why I'm like World War II. I can see that.
Right. So, we're those kids, like I think about it and it's just like, man, what we had to learn, like I wish I had the opportunity to go to like New York a little early on in my career, go to the Bronx and see what's going on, listen to all the party stories or something like that, listen to like what was going on outside of like the events, that's why I was like, I couldn't wait to get to the B-Boy Summit or get to like Freestyle Session or Radiotron, Best of the Best, things like that,
festivals where there's like a bunch of people as excited about hip hop as you in one place.
Yeah.
Like real hip hop.
Yeah, that's what brought me there is just, for the love of hip hop, like shit, they make movies of it, man.
Right. But no, that's facts. That's facts, like you're saying. It's less like that, like a big festival event. You know what I mean? Like I was wondering last week, I was thinking like, man, there ain't been no Jam on the Groove or nothing like that, where they kind of just got together and went on and made a show, like did a production.
It's crazy because there's a lot of B-boys that, work for things that are already established, like Cirque du Soleil or something, like there's people that go do shows on a cruise, like that shit is tight, man. That shit is so dope. And cats love doing that, but that would be really cool to see is like a full hip hop production, with DJs, MCs, like real dope MCs, graph writers and b-boys and b-girls, you know, even put the funk in there, you know, some
Right.
poppers, poppers, you know, some strutters, you know, whatever, you know.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Like, I wish there was more things like that. And when I look back and I'm like, man, like they were doing that stuff. I remember watching the tapes of Jam on the Groove and then their sessioning after, and it's like you see, like it's like Rocksteady's kind of like putting the arm around like Style Elements a little. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
that.
you remember that?
Yeah, like that to me was like, ew. It's like, okay, here we go. They're passing it on, kind of. They're kind of like building together. It's a younger generation and a older generation, and I just feel like there's been less of those kind of moments.
Right.
And I don't know how we could try to get back to that because everyone is such their own brand now. But if someone that can all kind of make a couple of bigger brands together, it would be amazing if we could do something like that where Jam on the Groove, man, psh, that shit is dope, dude. That shit was dope.
I mean, there's people within the community all over, like Florida, I mean, the Midwest, I mean, in Europe. They're like starting to, you know, develop themselves and, you know, get their brands ready, you know, and market themselves, you know. So I believe that, you know, we're going to see some really cool opportunities here soon, you know. And, you know, with judging, like we're saying, with competing, with being coaches, or, you know, being a, you know, people are going to be more promoters are coming out, you know. There's probably going to be like more people dabbing into their music, because you think about some of these big wigs coming in, they're going to need some real creative things from us. We're going to need to make our own music. We're going to need to make our own art, you know. So you think about all that stuff, man, and that's going to happen, you know. It's just who's going to be able to take the weight and put in that work? Who wants to go the extra mile? Because majority of the people that have been building their brands or marketing themselves have been in the game 20 years plus, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah.
All right, to bring it back to kind of knowing your worth and stuff, how do you go about incrementally, like, thinking you should be worth more, or actually, this is a better question, never mind. More like, is it the same rate in general for you? Because is it the same rate like per hour, or is it just like all day, like just to get me there, food, everything? If it's 2 hours or 5 hours, it would be the same, or you know what I mean? Do you kind of approach it differently based on time?
I have my little national rate and international rate.
Okay.
But after, I would say, the past 5 years, I've done so much, you know, major stuff that, you know, it goes up. It can't just stay the same. I mean, nobody works at a job for minimum wage for 20 years, man. Like, that doesn't make any sense, you know? So people out here trying to nickel and dime me, they gotta understand something. I don't nickel and dime in the street. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So look at me, I'm a real player. You know, like I hate to say that, you know, because people might think it's something else, but yo, you gotta look at it like this. This shit is from the street, right? So when are you going to level up out in the street? When are you going to be bigger out in the street? You know what I'm saying? I'll tell you when. It's when I get tired of the nickel and dime game, man. I'm taking it up a notch. I'm about to run my own facility type stuff. So I am my own facility. I'm sitting in it. You know what I mean? Running a school, teaching 50 or 60 kids a week. Like, let's go. Traveling the world. You know, there's other things. I'm a father. Like, you know, like I got overhead. I got things to take care of. So if I set a certain amount, yo, it's not like I'm out here driving a Lambo. I don't even like those cars. But you feel me?
Yeah, no, I feel you.
You know what I mean? Like, and at least you can, you know, people can look at your flyer and be like, yo, that's Charles. That's legit. That's what's up. You know what I mean? And you know,
I think what you've said that's kind of hidden in that message, I just want to make sure people kind of get, it's that you were basically reinvesting in yourself.
Exactly.
You're not buying Lambos and watches, and you're buying a cleaner for the floor, a mushroom to do flares, you know, PA speaker in the back. You know what I mean? Like that's like you're commissioning graph writers. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like you're reinvesting in yourself.
You know, some drums back there. You know,
Yeah.
like
So,
some mats. You know, I think about it, and everything's a liability. So you got to make sure you cover your butt, man.
yeah. So I just
You
want to
know?
let make sure that point doesn't get hidden in the message, because I saw
Yeah.
that, and I want to make sure people get that you know, it's nice to have a nice Lambo or super ill Hayabusa bike or some crazy shit, but you know, yeah,
Right.
reinvesting in yourself is always a good thing.
And it's just, you know, for the youth here in Fresno. I mean, not a lot of people support this area. We don't get a lot of people coming out here, like I've told you before. So that'll help me build up my community if these people can really, you know, meet my standards, you know, meet my needs or whatever. And that's what's up. You know, like it helps build us up, not just oversaturate yours.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
I've always been into sharing, man. You know, I like to share my stuff. You know, I like to see people happy, but there is a time where like you got to put your foot down and say, hey, well, these people are never in my area. I don't ever see these people trying to, you know, help our community grow, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah, no, I get you.
yeah,
No.
I'm, you know, yeah.
No, I feel you. I feel you. I got a soft spot for y'all because, you know, I lived in Merced for a little bit. So, you know what I'm saying? Atwater and Merced for a little bit, for a hot second. So, I always got a soft spot for y'all out there in the valley. So, I'm always going to.
You saw them B-boys out there in Merced. Much love.
Yeah, I'm always going to put y'all on the map.
Lodi, you know what I'm
Low
saying?
die, never die.
Mm-hmm.
Man. Yeah, I need to get back out there.
I mean, but you think like at this point, man, I mean, you've seen me on a few big things here, you know, and there, and it's like, come on now, man. I can't be doing this, you know. I can't be judging for no seashells. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, yo, tell my daughter, look, baby, I got some seashells. Daddy got you some seashells. Like,
No. And like I was saying, man, like if promoters were really looking at it through the right lens, you're actually giving them a lot more value than a lot of other dudes. Because some dudes will get called out and they don't even want to talk about it. They might do an IG post the next day, maybe. And you're willing to take all that smoke, hash it out, teach the youngins, be involved. You know what I mean?
Right.
Engage, and again, that's value. That's understated value. Little hidden
Right.
messages, but you know
I
it's
mean,
in there.
I mean, even to this day, like I think about, I was having a talk with one of my students, or little brother. You know, he's really dope. He's a pro. But I'll tell you what, he was like, "What are you doing? You practicing? You training?" I'm like, "For what? I'm not training because there's nothing to train for." You know what I mean? Like, I'm at a point where I'm so content where I'll just throw it out there. You know what I mean? Like you know, the know-how is there, so it's just wake the body up and get moving. You know, and you know, but it's just like you do have to be selective these days with what you enter, where you enter, who you enter with, or who you battling. You know, because you know I don't want people to carry me. I don't want to be like the guy that gets carried by some 20-year-old dudes. You know, like.
Yeah.
Come on now, man. You make it all the way to the finals because two of the younger guys are good, and you got a name. Like, get out of here. Like, you know, I seen a battle recently, man. This dude was struggling. Some dude
word.
was battling with two younger guys, and he was struggling. And I'm like, yo, how the hell did these dudes make the finals? What were the judges watching here? You know, and that's a prime example. Prime example, man. Don't let people carry you. Homie, it's either you do the work, you put it in, and that's it. You know? And if you can't, then say no. You can't.
Yeah, exactly. Carry the weight, man. Got to carry the weight.
Gotta carry your own weight, shit. You know?
Shit. Don't
But
talk
you know,
about carry.
with some of these dudes, they let their ladies carry in the groceries, right? Like, you kidding me?
I was gonna say, Fab, you want to talk about carrying weight? That first battle I entered with Mega Man, I was like, how the hell am I carrying some weight? Shit.
And you was younger than him, huh?
Yep. I was doing every best move I had.
Now
Just-
now it's these days are it's like The young dudes is trying to carry the older guys. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. They like that. Seems like they like that. Like, hey, just enter with me. It's cool. It's like, no, I don't want to. I need to be right with myself.
But, you know, it's time for some of us to sit here and say, hey, look, man, you got it. You got it. You can do it.
True.
You know, I mean, bro, like, I'll walk you over here to some of my trophies and you see some of the names, you know, and it's like, that was my time. That was my era. You know, just because I win something today doesn't mean it's my time. You know, just because I'll tell you what, the next day it's probably going to be like, ow, you know, like, you know? But yeah, man, know your worth, know your value, know what you're getting yourself into, you know, because don't let nobody co-sign you, because when it's go time and you can't perform the way you should, you know, people are going to be knocking on your door. Can I get my money back?
Oh man. Or when they pay at the end of the night, there's less.
You know what I'm saying?
That's always my favorite. Like, actually, things didn't turn out how we thought. Oh, all right.
All right.
Cool.
Yeah, man.
I'm not messing with that guy ever again.
So we covered some good stuff there. You know, like, know your worth. You know, I'm going to actually put out a little statement on Facebook, so maybe, you know, people can come to that cipher and check out, you know, the know your worth type of write up by Goku. You know, and I have other ones like what I'm looking for when I'm judging. You know, things like that. So this one will be pretty good. You know, so it's dedicated to people that actually put in the work, you know, and for promoters to really see like, hey, yo, I see where he's coming from, you know, like I'm not going to just take advantage of the guy, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I'll tell you what, if I would have drove out to the event, I probably would have ended up, how many hours do we usually sit down at an event in the Bay Area? 5-6 hours?
You're just going to say it ranges from, I'm guessing 3 to 5, 3 to 6. It goes up.
Jam starts at like 4, ends at like 10. Like, damn. You know?
And driving all the way back.
Then I drive back. I'm getting home at 2 a.m.
With a kid.
You know?
With kids.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing. People shouldn't be like, oh, well, we're not getting him because he's complaining that he's got to drive. Like, yo.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not what I'm saying. Like, you think about it, gas is probably like $80 to $100. Food, right?
Yeah.
What if I have to rent a hotel because I'm just dead tired of driving with a kid? Like, I come back home with $100. All right. You know, like, basically you work for minimum wage.
Yeah. But yeah, what is that? Like
$10 an hour.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Maybe not. Like, I don't know, what is that? Or maybe $15 an hour or something like that. But
yeah, it's like, it ain't much. It ain't worth, and it ain't worth what your value really is. That's not knowing your worth. You know what I mean? Man,
I think some of us should know how to break it down a little more on why we say no to certain events. You know, like, yeah.
I wish promoters, and I hope promoters are interested or at least inquisitive enough to ask, like, hey, you know, oh, why so much? And not like because you ain't worth it, but you know, like you said, maybe sometimes they need to break it down.
But
maybe
I think
it's my second jam. I might need to know. I don't know. It's my second jam or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I think promoters need to be as open to criticism as the people that are in the events competing. You know what I mean?
And I think some of these promoters think that some of us that they ask are as like we're stupid or something. Like, we don't know. Like, you know what you're asking of me? Like, come on now. Like, come on now, man. Like, you know, you got to know what you're asking, because it starts to be disrespectful in a sense. Just to, you know, how many people who said they was going to, you know, pay me a certain amount and then don't end up paying me. I don't give a shit if it's $30 or $40 that you like can't pay me, because that's happened to me a few times driving up to San Francisco, and I'm like, yo, you told me you was gonna. I'm sorry, I just don't have it. Oh, but you know, you're your jam will be all over Stance and it'll be all over the internet. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Get up out of here, man. I'm making you better, and you did absolutely nothing for me. You know?
Except said sorry.
Except said sorry. Sorry ain't enough.
Hell
you know,
no.
like, I want my $40. You know? But I mean, that's why I'm not putting a lot into breaking these days, because honestly, man, it's not about the money, it's about people. You know, it's about like the people that are involved with this, and I don't know if it's just to make a quick buck or catch a quick hype. Like, I don't know. You know, like, I'm from that era that had to do that damn work and take a bunch of criticism from people that I didn't even know. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I never, you know, like, I just know what I know because the people that I was able to visually see. You know, so what about the love you're supposed to share with people that actually did their homework? You know, like, did they homework? They had to go and learn new styles of the dance. They just didn't get egotistical or prideful within what they were good at. They actually like went and trained on other aspects of the dance as well. You know, to try to break that stigma that's, oh, that's Charles, that's the power move guy. Man, get up out of here with that bullshit. I'm tired of hearing that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm sick of it.
Yeah, because it's like you've evolved. Things change. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that whole thing's something else. The whole stereotype kind of pigeonholing, that's something else.
Yo, I've been to places, Sean, where I'm ciphering with folks, and they kind of get uncomfortable because I'm not doing air flares. You can see them like kind of like in the corner of their eye, like, oh shit, like I'm about to leave. Like, why are you leaving? Like, you know, like I've seen people walk away. You know, like, and it's like they don't pay attention to what's going on. You know, they ignore it. But whatever. Man.
Like, this is not what I expected.
You know what I mean?
I'm on this part of the show. This ain't it's not what I'm getting.
Yeah, I was supposed to shake my hips a little bit more better than you. You know, I was supposed to move my hips better than you. Well, you kind of do.
Yeah, you kind of do too well.
You know what I'm saying? Hey,
don't look at me when you do that.
Don't look at me. Anyway, man. But yeah, so be on the lookout for the little write-up that's coming up.
Yeah, looking forward to that. We're definitely going to retweet, promote, repost, whatever the kids do these days. We're going to do all that. And so, yeah, thank you guys for watching.
Episode 6 in the books.
6 in the books. We'll be back next week.
Yes, sir.
And we out. This is Goku, and I'm Rick. Peace.
Later.